Hey everybody, it's Emma, and today I'm going to do a get ready with me using products that YouTube made me buy. So I don't know if anybody remembers those YouTube made me buy it videos that were big a while ago on YouTube, but as usual, very late to the party. I don't know, I was just looking through my collection and noticing all these things, and I was like, oh yeah, that was because of YouTube, that was because of this review or that person. So I figured it would be just a fun little twist on a get ready with me. Now there are many primers that I have bought because of YouTube, and in fact priming my face in general is a step I wasn't really aware of before YouTube. BY. So I'm just going to mention a couple and then use the one that I want to use. The one that I haven't really enjoyed is the NYX Pore Filler Primer. I just don't find that this does anything for me. It doesn't help me out. It doesn't make my makeup look any different. It doesn't make it last better. So that one was kind of a fail. And, you know, not the cheapest product. I mean, obviously it's not as expensive as like a backup primer or something, but I forget exactly how much it was, but it was more money than I would want to spend on a dud product. The next one I want to mention is the Milani Prime Light Face Primer. This is one that was interesting to me generally, but I pulled the plug and bought it once I had seen a few reviews on YouTube. This is a really great primer. It's a little bit too glowy for me at the moment. My skin is pretty oily right now. This is a luminous primer, so it's kind of this lotiony texture. You can maybe see that it's a little bit opalescent. It's moisturizing, and it just gives a very natural, lit from within glow to my skin anyway. Very nice. But today I'm going to use a primer from The Ordinary. Now The Ordinary is a brand that I hadn't heard of prior to seeing it on YouTube. This is the High Adherence. For some reason I have such a problem with that name. Hello, there we go. The High Adherence Silicone Primer. I have done a first impression wear test of this and the other primer from The Ordinary with the serum foundation, so I will link that when it is up. I think this is probably going to go up first, but it's kind of a thicker texture, lotiony texture. It feels really nice, and both primers from The Ordinary are marketed as both, you know, primers to help your makeup last longer and as, you know, a light layer of moisture, so you can wear them on their own if you want to. And you know, that primer is $4.90, I believe, $4.90, so $5. So, I mean, I haven't had it for very long, but so far I really like it. Brows are on. If you're curious about my brow routine, I did do a separate video just on that, which I will link. I don't have this product anymore, but certainly the reason I bought the Anastasia Brow Wiz is because of YouTube. I've talked about this already, but the Anastasia Brow Wiz, as nice as it is, it's a beautiful product, and it's probably my favorite brow product that I've ever used. The NYX Micro Brow Pencil, which is what I'm using, is close enough. It's not exact, but it is close enough, and half the price, lasts the same amount of time, so that's what I'm using. For my eyes, while we're talking about Anastasia Beverly Hills, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills World Traveler palette. Now, I don't know if this was the first palette that they ever came out with, but it was certainly the first palette that I remember seeing on YouTube, and everybody was over the flippin' moon about it. And I really enjoy this palette. I love the colors in there. Briefly, because this was a limited edition palette, you can't get it anymore, but there are 4 matte shades, this black, this kind of peachy creamy color, and then these browns. There's a couple of glittery shades. There's this shade right here called Pink Champagne, which I'm probably going to use today because I love it. This blue is gorgeous. There's just a lot of really beautiful colors in here. I have already primed my eyes. I'm going to use Soft Peach on a fluffy brush. This is the crease brush from e.l.f. And I'm just going to blend that a little bit above my natural crease, more along the brow bone. I am next going to take Heirloom, which is that purpley sparkly color. And I'm going to bring that to the outer edge of my eye. This is a Real Techniques shading brush, and you know, Real Techniques is also a thing that I learned about on YouTube. There's going to be a lot of other products too that I got because of YouTube. I mean, the reason I really started getting into makeup again because of YouTube, and a lot of what I know now, for better or worse, I learned on YouTube. You know, a lot of the products that I have, I learned about on YouTube. So, you know, this video is a brief and incomplete showing, I suppose. So using that fluffy brush just to blend that out a little bit better. Soften that edge. But I also, you know, as much as I'm filming this video showing the, you know, the hype that I've bought in, that's actually is a word, but I don't think it's appropriate in this moment. The things that I have bought because of YouTube, you know, it is a double-edged sword because it's a great way to learn about new products. It can be really helpful, but it can also really promote this idea that you need so much stuff. And over the course of the past few years, I have kind of found a good balance of what feels appropriate for my makeup collection, which is, you know, larger probably than the average person, but, you know, certainly not as extensive as, you know, an actual like YouTube guru. So I think it's really important to question your makeup buying habits and, you know, stay really aware of what you need, what you don't, what you want, why, all of that stuff. It's really important to question, I think, which I have not always done. Let's be honest. Now, just to add a little extra stickiness, this is another thing. This is the Milani ShadowEyez 12-hour wear eyeshadow in Almond Cream. Emily Noel 83 or Noel, I'm not exactly sure. I just realized I've never said that out loud, her channel name. But you know who I mean. She's amazing. She's one of my favorite YouTubers. And I could probably do an entire video just on things I've bought because of her recommendation. This is one of them. Now she recommended it for the lower inner rim, which I have used it for, but I also think it's a really great base. And the shade that I want to put on the inner part of my lid, that pink champagne, the stickier the base can be underneath it, the more spectacular the sparkle will be. So I'm just going to use my finger. I mean, it works fine with a brush also, but I want to get as much of that kind of metallic gorgeousness on my eye as I can. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to make this more complicated using a lot more shades. I honestly don't think I need to, but I am going to just use that same fluffy brush. And again, just kind of blending the upper edge. And actually, just to warm it up and for fun, to use a little bit more of this, I'm going to go into Morocco very lightly. And just run that over top of those shades. I'm going to use another fluffy brush that's clean, also from Real Techniques. This was a limited edition brush, which I wish they'd bring back. I really like it. All right, and I'm actually just going to use another limited edition Real Techniques brush. This is, you can just use any small angled brush or pencil brush, whatever you'd like. I'm going to go into Noir, which is the matte black, which is an awesome matte black, by the way, and just run that like an eyeliner. Totally inappropriate look for a Thursday afternoon. Am I right? Okay, I'm gonna pause there. I might bring something to the lower lash line. I'm not sure, but I'm very happy that YouTube made me buy this palette. I must say, I like it a lot. I reach for it a lot, and I think it's great. definitely makes me want more Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes. Mascara. Moving on to skin. If you've watched recent videos of mine, you know that I love this. This is the Buxom Show Some Skin Weightless Foundation. I have it in the shade Tickle the Ivory. And I was inspired to get this after watching NYX's 50, God bless her, 50 swatch foundation video, which I will link below. It's a great video, either if you're looking for a kind of paler foundation shade, and it's also great if you are interested in seeing a wide variety of cruelty-free foundations, which is why I initially watched it, and I did learn a lot of different brands that I had never heard of. I'm gonna blend that in with a Real Technique sculpting brush. I haven't tried this over top of that ordinary primer, so here's hoping. But I won't blab on about why I love this foundation. I have other videos. My most recent favorites is one. I will link that in a card. You can check that out to hear more. Okay, I'm just skipping through, as you can see, the products that I'm not really featuring in the YouTube maybe buy it sort of thing. So I am concealed, powdered, and bronzed. And then for blush, this is probably one of the first things, at least that's still in my collection, that YouTube made me buy, and it is the Milani Baked Blush in Luminoso. Now, it is certainly not a shade that's going to work for everybody. I think if you have cool undertones in your skin, this might look a little awkward, but because my skin is kind of neutral, warm leaning, it's so pretty. So I'm going to put that on with an e.l.f. cheek brush. I love the Milani blush formulas, the Baked Blush and the Rose Blush. This is a really pretty both summer for me, and you know, maybe if you have a similar skin tone, or you know, like I said, those kind of warmer undertones in your skin. This is beautiful both in the summer, kind of over bronzer. It's gorgeous in the winter, especially. I feel like if you have pale skin and that, I don't know, it just gives that really beautiful kind of flush. Looks really pretty. Sans bronzer, I think. I'm not sure how this works on deeper skin tones. If you have a deeper skin tone and have had experience with this blush, I'd be curious to know. So this is a product that I would have bought anyway, but YouTube definitely lit the fire under my feet. I'm talking about this thing that is not going to focus. There we go. The Wet n Wild MegaGlo Highlighting Powder in Precious Petals. This was originally launched as a limited edition product in their 2016 summer collection. They launched 2 shades, Precious Petals and Crown of My Canopy. People went so nuts for this. I am embarrassed to say how many Rite Aids and Walgreens and CVS's I went to looking for Precious Petals. I usually don't have a problem finding the limited edition stuff when it's in stores. I'm very happy actually that they're bringing out their fall collection in stores, because I kind of like the hunt, honestly. But I digress. People were so nuts over this. I went to so many stores trying to find it, couldn't find it. I did get Crown of My Canopy just to get something, which I have since decluttered because it's just too dark for me. But people loved it so much and went so kind of apeshit over this product that Wet n Wild ended up bringing it back as a permanent part of their collection. And they have also recently launched new shades that I will probably get, even though I don't need. But I'm fine with it. So it's just a really beautiful peachy highlighter. Whoa. It's intense though. Or it can be. I always end up putting too much on. But it's so pretty. I've really been liking this kind of C shape with my highlighter from the top of the cheekbone to right under the brow. I talked about that in my fall makeup trends video. I did in partnership with pattyj.com. So you can check that out. I will leave the link. I really like how it looks though. Now, I had mentioned earlier in the program that the Milani ShadowEyez I gotten because of Emily, and I have gotten another product for the lower inner rim because of Emily, and that is the Wet n Wild UltimateBrow highlighter, which I had seen and honestly didn't have any interest in getting because I was like, that looks way too pink and awful to actually work as a brow highlighter. Not that I do that in my normal routine anyway, but I do really like this as an inner rim highlighter. I'm not sure if I can do this one-handed though. Might have to skip forward. All right, hold on. I'll be right back. Last but not least, let's move on to lips, and there are countless lip products that I have bought because of YouTube. But the one that I wanted to share with you is the Urban Decay Vice lipstick palette. I do love this product and I'm very glad I have it, but it was also a very good reminder of when I am in the midst of hype over product, the quality of the product is not the only thing to consider. This is a beautiful palette. It's very well made. It's hefty. It looks gorgeous. It has probably one of the best mirrors just generally. This is what I usually use when I'm filming Get Ready With Me's or makeup application at any point because the mirror is just so great. It says lipstick is my vice. It has this little protector over the lipsticks, and then there are 12 shades. These are all permanent in the Vice lipstick range, so if you love one, you can buy the full size, and there are a couple shades that I'm considering buying once I use them up. And it's a really, I think it's the perfect way to, I would love it if more brands would do something like this, where you can try a little bit of a lot of their products that they already have. That being said, this is a completely inconvenient makeup item. It's not something I'm gonna throw in my purse. Like I said, it's really hefty because it's really well made. It feels very well made, and my purse is heavy enough with the things that really have to be in it. You need to apply them with a brush. It does come with a brush, and the brush was okay. It worked well for a little while, but at this point, I've had this for a little, well, not quite a year, but we're working on it. It's just disintegrating. You can maybe see the hair that's sticking up, and I can just kind of pull them out. I'm not tugging very much, and when I use the brush, I end up with hair on my lips. What I've preferred, even before it started shedding, is this $1 concealer brush from e.l.f. I find this works better on my lips. It doesn't have quite as much give as the brush that comes with it. So even if I'm traveling with this, with the brush that's in there not being as usable, it's just a really inconvenient makeup item for everyday use, which is what I'm doing. However, I do love it. So I think probably something a little bit more on the neutral end of the spectrum would be good. So let me go in with, let's do 1993. Let's start with that. It's actually one that I don't use as much. So it has that kind of cool, kind of gray brown. Hence the name, that 90s color. It's going to be a really nice shade as we move into fall. I'm going to put a little bit of Vanished, which is this color right here, just on the center. I really like Vanished too, and I was surprised because it looks like it would just be kind of concealer dead girl lips. Maybe it's just because I put it on with a brush, but it ends up being sheer enough that it's wearable. Looks really nice with a smoky eye. All right, so there we have the finished look of things that YouTube made me buy. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, if you have any of these products, or, let me know what things YouTube has inspired you to buy, whether it worked out for you or not. I would love to know. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.